Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Breakfast Club. I'm Kazoom, and I have a really bad headache, so I'm going to try to get through this quickly. I've made several versions of this video, and it was just a big fail. They went on for way too long. So, one of them was almost a half hour. So, all right, where to start on this? I'm confused at when people will how they can call themselves liberal, but then they have absolutely no problem with any right tilting, just about any, not any, but the majority of very, very right tilting news sources. No problem with them. They could even be blatantly promoting Christianity, and that's well, you'll look past that. But then if it's even slightly left tilting as a source, you're like, oh no. I don't understand that. You're liberal, and it's okay to have something that speaks against what you're saying your philosophy is. That's all totally good. But if anything speaks for what your philosophy that you say you have is, then it's bad. I don't get it. I don't understand that. I mean, it doesn't matter how slightly something, how very little something is tilting to the left. You're just like, oh no. All right. It's not even an issue of, well, I won't look at them for these subjects. No, it's just, oh no. I don't understand that. I really don't. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And a phenomenon that I've been seeing within the atheist community is a tilting towards the right. And, I don't have that much problem with it actually tilting towards the right if the people who were starting to tilt towards the right would state that they're tilting towards the right. There have been points where I have definitely changed some of my political views. And when I've tilted to the right, I've stated that I'm tilting to the right. I'm aware of it. I can see it. It's almost like okay, it's something else that's going on. Okay, is the right wing, for at least the past 60 or so years, has usually just held on to older ideas. Well, eventually new ideas become older ideas. The left wing tends to shove forth newer ideas that the right says, wait, no, that's not going to work. Wait, that's not going to work. But eventually the right will latch on to some of the things that used to be left-wing positions because it's become the norm, right? I guess you could call that the Overton window. And to some degree. And so the right accepts things that they used to not accept. For instance, there are a number of right-wingers out there who are pro-gay marriage. There are a number of right-wingers out there who are pro-choice. There are a number of right-wingers out there who are totally for keeping things like even affirmative action. There are a number of right-wingers, Republicans, who support a whole lot of things that used to be left-wing positions. Well, a handful of things. I shouldn't say a whole lot of things, but there's wow, a small handful of things. And so now those issues are not what makes someone considered, Republican or Democrat. I guess I'm speaking about the United States. So, So, issues like gay marriage and women's rights and minority rights aren't really, it's not a left-right thing anymore. Not as much, anyway, right? So, when I see people saying that they're liberals, and they'll say they're liberal because they believe in these, they'll list this small handful of things that you can still be a Republican and have that position. They'll list these small things, but then everything else they talk about is a typical Republican position. And you're just like, for, really, really, really small government, almost no government when it comes to the way that businesses is done, regulations on businesses, and the way of handling taxes. People, they can take all these really, really right-wing positions on that, and about in some cases, even about social programs. Very right-wing position. Let's either privatize things or get rid of them, or get rid of the waste in them, which usually with social programs end up making those social programs start to fail. Then they can point and say, see, these programs don't work. All they were is a waste of money, and then it gets shut down, and so on and so forth, right? There are people that shove forth all of that kind of stuff, and then they'll say, well, I support gay rights, therefore I'm a liberal. Well, no, you're not. Well, I get to declare what I am. Great, I'm an attack helicopter. Right? Well, that's what I declare that I am, so you have to refer to me as that. Don't treat me like I am not an attack helicopter. It's like people, don't treat me like I'm not a liberal. Well, you don't have liberal, the only areas you have a liberal position on are this small handful of things that people on the right can claim. So, how does this work? Again, it can be people that will have no problem with publications, with news sources that are blatantly right-tilting. But then if a news source has any tiny little tilt towards the left, they're like, oh, no. How does that work? How can you call yourself a liberal on that? It's very strange to me. Again, maybe it's people feeling like they can't come out of the closet as a right-winger. Right-wing views are demonized, and you know what? To me, they're rightfully demonized. But that's my viewpoint as a liberal. I don't want to see people suffer. I don't want to see massive starvation. I don't want to see, high poverty. I don't want to see poor people barely being able to survive. I don't want to see people dying unnecessarily. So yeah, I do think that some of these right-wing positions that are crucial to be considered a right-winger, I don't see them as being positive. I think they're a bunch of fucking crap. I don't believe in a survival of the fittest type of government. I think that's fucking terrible. To me, some of the government's job, and people will disagree with me on this, but to me, some of the government's job is to try to make sure as many people are able to be as happy as they can. And people will, the Republicans want people to be happy but it's not, it lets so many people fall through the cracks. You have to be, you kind of have to know the right people in order to have a chance of a good life. At least with this other kind of system, fewer people fall through the cracks. More people that could really use some help, that could really, are going to get it. And yes, these things these programs are often very inefficient, and there's money wasted on it, and there's people that are on these programs that probably shouldn't be on the programs. But that's the cost of living in a civilization that gives a shit about the people below them. But below them. Gives a shit about all people. You know? I do not believe that libertarianism works. And I understand that there can be some left-leaning libertarians, but they have to be pretty far left-leaning libertarians to still believe in the social programs. So, guess I don't know where to go with this. And thanks for watching.